Imagine this scenario, something you've probably thought about before. You wake up, you look on your phone or you check on your computer, and in your bank account is £1 million. And make no mistake, it's all your money. You can go out and buy a new house, you can buy new cars, watches, clothes, you can pay off your debts, pay off your mortgage, and hey, let's not forget, you are watching a finance channel after all. You can go and buy as much cryptocurrency, as many stocks and shares, and fill up your stocks and shares ISA to your heart's content. Whatever you want to buy is completely up to you, but there is just one small catch. Everyone else got given the £1 million too. Your wife, girlfriend, husband, partner, friend, neighbours, people across the street, even Dave who puts all his rubbish in your bins, every single person has got given £1 million. Now just think what that might do to the economy. So you might want to buy a new house, you might want to buy a new car and buy some nice new things. Well, so does the other person, so does your friends, family, and all of the other people that you don't yet know. The problem is everyone's thinking the same thing. They all want to go and buy the same sort of things. They want to buy all those nice things we've all wanted. The problem is what happens next.
Inflation.
Today, unemployment is low, the economy is growing, and inflation is low.
Inflation is probably the single most important thing and the single most threat to your wealth, especially if it's kept in cash. It's a concern for you, me, people all over around the world, regardless of what currency you are and where you live. In some countries, of course, it's certainly more out of control than others, but this one thing is probably the most important thing worth knowing about before you do anything with your money. Inflation is a careful balancing act that central banks and governments around the world have to figure out where to keep things right. It's almost like the fairy tale Goldilocks, where sometimes the porridge is too hot, sometimes it's too cold, but actually what's best is something that's not too hot or not too cold, and something just right. Too much inflation and things just get out of control, not enough inflation or deflation, then things just get worse and worse. The thing you bought today ends up being worth less tomorrow, so there's no incentive to buy anything now if it's going to be cheaper in the next week. Inflation can be affected in multiple different ways, but there are several which stand out and a best way to describe what inflation is, and that's when we talk about demand pull, cost push, or built in. In short, if there's more money floating around the system, then of course there's more money to pay for the same things, and those same things then end up costing a lot more. Likewise, if it costs a lot of money to produce those same things, those commodity items, then of course that will also drive prices only one way. And then of course we've got the concept of built-in inflation. So as those things cost more and more to produce, well also you need the people, the salaries, the wages to pay to produce for those things. And then of course it's a bit of a cycle that things only go in one direction. Recently there's been a lot of talk of inflation and even hyperinflation, and Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter, even tweeted himself saying hyperinflation is going to change everything. Now, hyperinflation makes inflation look like a walk in the park. This is an extremely bad version of inflation and something that we hope we never experience in our lifetimes, but unfortunately some countries and some currencies have experienced just this, and it's not pretty. During periods of hyperinflation, prices get so out of control that of course between the start of the day and the end of the day, prices can completely change, the buying power of your money can completely get destroyed, and you'll end up in a situation where you're potentially carrying your cash literally in buckets. In history, there's lots of examples of hyperinflation, and of course we think about the Weimar Republic in Germany after the First World War, where of course money printing went out of control as Germany lost the war, and of course reparations had to be paid to the winning side. This led to rampant price increases of all your kind of commodities and assets that you can imagine, and a price of bread is a really good example. Let me just show you now, using the price of a loaf of bread, what hyperinflation can do. This one's not pretty. So a loaf of bread that cost around 160 marks at the end of 1922 ended up costing 200 billion marks in the end of 1923. That's an increase of 125 million%. Now, those are pretty good returns if you can get them in the market, but if it's causing your commodities to go up that much and you're trying to buy a loaf of bread, that is not practical at all. That is not very nice. If you search for photos of what happened during that time, you'll actually see images of people using banknotes to actually put in their fireplaces to heat their homes, and also pictures of children playing with banknotes because of course they're completely worthless and no one cares if they get crap all over them and get completely destroyed because they're literally worth nothing. Now, of course, that's a complete extreme example, and hopefully that never happens to the US dollar or the UK pound, but inflation is certainly a real risk and something that we monitor very carefully to make sure that we're not going to get ourselves into a very bad position. Now, currently, lots of people are talking about the threats of inflation because governments around the world had to react to the events of 2020 and, of course, have been printing money relentlessly. And if we think about the US, for example, and the UK, in the last year alone, 20% of all the US dollars in circulation were created out of thin air. That's a devaluation of your money by 1/5. And things aren't so pretty here in the UK as well, with billions and billions of pounds being created, which of course then end up fed back into the system and competing with the pounds and the dollars in your pocket and my pocket. So in the short term, what does this actually do to your money? Well, if you keep your money in cash in a bank, then unfortunately, we are guaranteed to see the buying power reduce of that money. So £100, for example, may by next year only £97 or £98 worth, and we know that that is guaranteed to happen, especially in a situation where we have record low interest rates, so that small 0.01% or whatever you're getting at the moment will not counter the effects of inflation. So in essence, you're losing money. So with that being said, and hopefully we don't end up in the Weimar Republic like Jack Dorsey suggesting, we need to do something about it. So what's the answer to combat inflation? And what can you do about the situation? It's all about making sure that you or I, as individual retail investors, own the assets which get inflated in price when this happens. And in practice, this means making sure that you have stake in each different types of asset classes. This might include stocks and shares, property, bonds, commodities like gold, silver, lumber and oil, and then more recently in history, and maybe a preferred one for people like myself, everything around cryptocurrency and specifically Bitcoin, which is cementing itself as one of the best hedges against inflation. Inflation should absolutely be a big warning sign to you right now if you're holding lots of cash on the sidelines or you've always been hesitant about investing your money. If anything, today and now is the best time to get your money invested. Of course, the best time was many, many years ago, but if you consistently make sure you're invested in different asset classes, that's probably one of the single biggest ways you can protect yourself against inflation. If you do want to get started investing and do want to buy some stocks and shares, you can use one of my links below. I've recently been doing a lot of trading on free trade, which of course is a great way to get yourself started with completely commission-free trading. Please use my link in the description below. We'll both get a free stock up to £200. What's not to like? Now, the difficult thing here, of course, is choosing how much to put into the different kind of assets. There is absolutely no way, unless we had some kind of crystal ball, to know which asset is going to appreciate the most. Some of the best advice from professional investors just says that we need to make sure we own as many of these commodities as we can, because we've got no idea whether the price of oil is going to go up, lumber is going to go up, Bitcoin's going to go up, or asset prices like real estate is going to go up. Who knows? But if we have a small stake in each of them, then we're guaranteed that we'll benefit from any net increases in their price. Now, thankfully, it's easier than it ever has been to make sure we get exposure to these different asset classes through different kinds of index funds and exchange traded funds without having to physically hold these assets and store them, for example. Now, I don't know about you, but I've definitely not got any space for barrels of oil or lumber in my shed, or certainly no bank vault or no safe to hold big bars of gold or even silver. If you do all of your own research, you'll find that there's loads of funds on the market to enable you to invest in these different kinds of commodities. And what this will do, it will give you indirect access to the price fluctuations and the appreciation effects on these assets, especially if they inflate due to supply side or demand side inflation. And as I sit here today, of course, we're looking at record high prices for things like oil, Bitcoin, and all kinds of other assets. Think about real estate and property as well. Things are only going to go in one direction, so you need to make sure that you've got some exposure to all of those. There's a reason why in the news you always hear new things saying the billionaires of the world have increased their wealth by 20, 30, 40% this year, and it's not necessarily because they've got more cash in their pockets. It's because the assets they hold, the commodities they own, for example, they increase in value. Think about people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, whose net value really is tied to the companies they own. In Jeff Bezos' example, Amazon, of course, the more that share price goes up, the more his value goes up, his net worth goes up, because his stake in the company then increases in size because the market cap of the company increases. Similarly, Elon Musk, of course, is tied to SpaceX and Tesla, and the bigger the share price goes, hitting an all-time high again recently, both of them quite literally go to the moon. For now, let's make sure we keep a really close eye on things. In the US, of course, we're looking out for terms and looking out for people talking about the tapering and the reducing of tapering. Here in the UK, we're certainly going to be keeping a close eye on the budget this week to see what happens with monetary printing and how much more QE or quantitative easing we're going to see. but hopefully we can keep this under control, otherwise inflation could take its hold. Either way, it's best to make sure we protect ourselves. And just to wrap things up, remember I am not a professional qualified financial advisor. I never claim to be, so please do all of your own research. This is just my opinion and just things that I think about and trying to help you guys out for educational purposes only. But anyway, if you've enjoyed the video, give me a big fat like, subscribe for many, many more. I'll see you guys in the next one. And as usual, happy investing.